Imagine an automation that correctly moved a billing charge, but to the wrong account. The numbers were right, the intent was close, but the agent had write access across customer namespaces, and a small template mismatch turned into an expensive rollback. That's the 1-minute disaster I want you to avoid today. I call the habit permission parity check, a 10-minute routine that keeps agents scoped to the human intent that approved them.
That image lands fast. Correct outcome, wrong target. It's the classic case where automation amplifies human error instead of preventing it. So what's the minimal corrective we can adopt and actually sustain?
Core insight. Quick. Privilege drift happens because defaults are broad, templates are copy-pasted, and tokens are sticky. Humans sign off on a decision in context. Agents keep the privileges forever. The result is asymmetric power, agents with more authority than the approving human intended. That asymmetry is the failure mode permission parity check targets.
And the fix needs to be tiny and repeatable, something you can do tonight without a policy overhaul. So walk me through the core artifact, the Parity token.
Parity token. One line, machine and human readable. Compose it like this: actor, scope, privilege band, intent anchor, expiry ISO, rollback handle. Actor names the agent identity. Scope is the narrow resource set. Privilege band is read, write, or admin. Intent anchor is a one-line justification plus owner. Expiry ISO auto-rotates. Rollback handle is a one-click revocation link or runbook pointer.
Give me paste-ready examples so listeners can lift and apply them.
3 examples you can paste. Billing agent, billing-bot-v2, account customer 1234. Write, reconcile failed charges for invoice 9876. Owner, finance at Acme, 2026-0320-07000Z. Rollback, runbook/billing/revoke. Deploy assistant, deploy assist. Scope, staging cluster-ns/frontend. Admin, no, change to write. Deploy release 1.7 to staging. Owner, ops at Acme, 2026-0321-02000Z. Rollback, pipeline/deploy/revert. Partner relay, partner relay. Scope, partner-API-partner ID-42. Read, fetch partner inventory for sync. Owner, partnerships at Acme, 2026-0320-12000Z. Rollback, API/partner relay/revoke. Each token ties a human intent and an expiry to the agent.
Nice. Those show the pattern. Now the actual checks. Start with privilege audit. What do I run and what do I expect back in 2 minutes?
Privilege audit first. Goal, enumerate what the agent can actually do, what resources it's bound to, and its recent calls. 2-minute audit script. 1. Resolve the agent identity to its active tokens and bindings. 2. List current scopes and privilege bands. 3. Pull the recent calls, API logs, PR refs, job IDs for the last 30 days. Output must include provenance lines, log timestamp, call ID, and resource path. If any binding is broader than the Parity token scope, flag it. Automate this as a CI job or a one-click script so it's not manual checkbox theater.
And if you find a broader binding, immediate narrowing options should be obvious. But the second check is about intent alignment. Does capability match a documented human intent?
Exactly. Intent alignment probe maps each capability to an intent anchor and a human owner. For every capability returned in the audit, answer, who approved this action? What one-line outcome does it serve? Is there an intent anchor in the token? If not, flag it for owner confirmation. Require a one-line human verification, email, PR comment, or ticket before any privilege remains. If the owner can't justify the capability in one line, tighten or revoke it.
So far, enumerate, then tie to a named human intent. The third check sounds like a dry run. Walk through the least authority simulation.
Least authority simulation is a constrained dry run in staging.
Create a duplicate agent identity with only the narrowest privileges and replay sensitive calls using pre-recorded inputs. Observe side effects, DB writes, outbound calls, billing mutations in a sandbox that logs provenance. The rule: reversible outputs only. If the constrained agent fails to accomplish the legitimate intent, identify the single privilege required and document it in the Parity token. If success is noisy or unsafe, refuse expansion to production until the behavior is decomposed further.
That gives you a tight feedback loop. Audit, verify, simulate. But how do you enforce primitives in the pipeline so teams don't just bypass this with convenience copies?
Enforcement primitives are simple and mechanistic. Use ephemeral scoped tokens by default, tokens that expire and require a fresh intent anchor to extend. Add a deploy gate that rejects any agent requesting admin or cross-namespace privileges without a published Parity token. Attach a one-click revoke to the rollback handle and surface a morning drift digest, a short daily report of agents whose active privileges diverge from their tokens. Those steps make bypass costly in time, not just policy paperwork.
AI can help here, but it can also mislead. You mentioned 2 constrained prompts. What do they look like in practice?
2 patterns. Prompt A. Enumerate capabilities and recent calls for Agent X. Return only exact provenance lines, log timestamp, API call ID, resource path, and confidence score. No hallucinations. The AI returns a table of evidence the CI job can cross-verify. Prompt B. Given the capability list and provenance, propose a conservative scoped policy that removes the single highest leverage privilege while preserving the documented intent anchor. Return the proposed token line and a one-line justification. Important constraints: require exact provenance, include confidence, and mandate a one-line human verification before any suggested policy is enforced.
Those prompts make the AI an assistant, not the approver. Last piece, the 7-day pilot. Make it a short playbook I can send to a lead.
7-day pilot. Day 1. Pick one agent that runs tonight. Publish a Parity token for it in your internal registry. Day 2. Run the privilege audit and record provenance lines. Day 3. Execute the intent alignment probe and collect one-line owner verifications. Day 4. Perform a least authority simulation in staging. Day 5. Apply scoped tokens and set the ephemeral expiry. Day 6. Enable the morning drift digest and revoke any broad bindings discovered. Day 7. Measure drift reduction and any incidents. Document one lesson learned and roll the habit into the team's checklist. Small pilot, big leverage.
If teams treat this as a tool and not theater, automated audits and enforced pilots, this will actually reduce blast radius. If they don't, you get the checkbox problem. What mitigations should teams bake into the rollout?
3 mitigations we built into the approach. Automate the privilege audit so it's one click and hard to ignore. Require an enforced pilot that blocks production expansion without an ephemeral token and a drift digest. And constrain AI outputs to exact provenance lines, plus a human one-liner verification for any change. Those prevent audits becoming nominal and stop teams from copying agents into permissive contexts out of convenience.
Quick recap. Attach a one-line Parity token to every agent, run the 3 checks, privilege audit, intent alignment probe, least authority simulation, enforce ephemeral tokens and a one-click rollback, and run a short 7-day pilot. It's a tiny habit with outsized impact.
Fast action for listeners. Pick tonight's agent, publish its Parity token, and run the privilege audit before your next deploy. If you only do one thing this week, make that it. Make your next move count. Stay agentic.